The Helen Suzman Foundation has launched an urgent application to review and set aside the decision to grant former President Jacob Zuma medical parole. The foundation has asked the court to order the National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Arthur Fraser, to urgently provide the record of and reasons for this decision. Let's get more on this from the foundation's legal counsellor, Anton van Dalsen. Anton, thanks so much for your time on SABC News this evening. Just take us through the legal principles and rules of court that allow you to seek what you're looking for.
Yes, good evening. The principle is that if one wants a government decision reviewed, you are permitted to ask for the record of the decision. In other words, the basis on which the decision was made and the necessary documentation. And that we've done with a view to asking a court to review the decision. And the reasons for that, our very clear impression is that from the press statement of the Department of Correctional Services and also from comments made by the National Commissioner in press interviews, that the correct procedure has not been followed. We feel that is very clear, and that is the background to our approaching the court. And just as a last comment, the National Commissioner did say to the press a few days ago that anybody who wants the reasons can have them. We asked him for the reasons and he hasn't bothered to reply. So for that reason, we're going to court.
Mm-hmm. So just to understand correctly, you're going to court because you know from the statements that the proper procedure has not been followed, and you'd like to ensure that in instances like this, proper procedure must be followed.
Exactly. And for that reason, the first step is to get the record of the decision and the necessary documentation on which the decision was made.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an idea of how long that process may take?
We've asked for this to be dealt with on an urgent basis. So if that if the courts do proceed on an urgent basis, it should be very quick. The reason we've done that is because otherwise we're in for months and months of wrangling, and we feel that it's justified to do this on an urgent basis.
All right. So at the end of the process, if things go your way, what do you want to see be done?
Well, first of all, we need to see the record of the decision to see whether the decisions that were taken are in accordance with legislation and the necessary regulations. And we would be surprised if that's the case, if they have been taken in accordance with those decisions, then obviously the whole case takes on a different color. But we are convinced that this was not done, and that the record of the decision will bear us out. And if that is the case, we will ask a court to review the decision and set it aside.
Okay, what implications does that have for former President Jacob Zuma, who is apparently in hospital now or not in prison at the moment?
Well, that means he will have to return to prison to serve his sentence of 15 months.
Mm-hmm. Anton van Dalsen, legal counsellor for the Helen Suzman Foundation, thanks so much for your time on SABC News this evening.